What's good, everyone? This is Marcus the Fingaz, Dafingaz, back with the Sampleist, and here we're going to talk about the Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2 Cyberpunk instrument. Before we get into that, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, the Sampleist, here on YouTube. And although the library was provided by the great team over at Auddict, they have not had a chance to review this video, and that will not affect our decision on the plugin itself. What is the Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2? The great thing about Volume 2 is the aesthetic of the plugin. The UI is very similar or akin to Volume 1. So if you're familiar with Volume 1, which we reviewed when that came out, you can go back and check that out. You'll be familiar with the interface and the functions. Volume 2 is almost 20 gigabytes, actually over 20 gigabytes of sounds. You are getting 120 instruments. You are getting over 9,500 wave files. They are multi-sampled. They are multi-round robin. You have a fully performable and manipulatable UI. You have thousands and thousands of wave files. As I mentioned, we have drums and percussion. We have sound design. We have mangled drum kits. We have taikos, djembes. We have drum machines. We have some tonal instruments that are multi-dynamic. We have articulation sets. We have a built-in sequencer with articulation switching per step. You have fragments, which are a variety of instruments and sound design elements. We have vocals like breath effects and robot voices and dystopian speeches and ethereal vocals. We have custom palettes that are arranged by composers and artists. You have sirens, you have risers, you have dive bombs, you have whooshes, we have machines and ambiances, we have soundscapes, all inspired by the cyberpunk city. We have factory hits, we have hydraulic hits, we have machinery hits, and at the time of this recording, the Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2 Cyberpunk is currently on a 50% off sale at the price of $140. Let's get into it. We have a lot to cover. We obviously won't be able to get into all 120 instruments, but we're going to show you a select few of them, and we're going to start with the UI here. You have your reverb here from left to right. Reverb at the top left. You can choose between the arena, the dank dungeon, the hall, the mosque, and the Roman temple. Let me just play this sound from the electric guitar insanity kit that we have here. That is the sound. Let's turn on just arena. And you hear that sound decay. You can adjust the time here, the amount, which is sort of like a mix knob between the reverb. I'm going to turn that off. You see to the right of that, well, in the middle, you have the graphic here. And you see when I play a note, the things light up in the graphics there. It's a really cool design. We have the waveform here. You can adjust the sample start. So let's say I want you might see this thin line here. Let's say I want it to start right here or right at the hit. And what you can do next is I can adjust the attack so I don't have that clipping at the beginning. So it's more of a fade in without the clicking, but you have this attack, hold, decay, sustain, release option here along with the curve. So let me turn the release up. And when I let go of the note, you don't see the note that I'm playing because I don't have it selected. But when I have the release up and I hit this, and if I have the release down and I hit it, the note immediately stops playing when I let go. So you have that happening there. And then we have a filter curve, or a filter and envelope. So I can adjust the curve. I can say gentle, low pass. I can have the cutoff. And I'm almost like building a whoosh. Bring this back. And I have like a low sort of effect there. And I can adjust the amount, the attack, decay, sustain, release of the filter itself using that filter envelope. And you can immediately start to sound design some things. And then at the bottom here, we have the different notes. The red is the note that I'm playing. So let me play, if I play that, red is actually the tuning, so I can tune it down. Let me turn the cutoff off. That's like a riser, and I can play this low C. I'm playing the same note in the blue keys. The blues are actually the different samples. The red keys is the tone of the sample. So if I bring it up here, that's like a high-pitched riser down here. It's like a low-pitched riser. So right there, you already have so much sound design just from one sample. And it's very similar across the board for the other UIs. And then last but not least, let's jump over to the ARP page. So we were on the main page. We also have an ARP arpeggiator built in. So if I play the same note, let's play the C0. We could turn on the sequencer. And you see what's happening there. Let's see if we want to build up like this. And I could say, you can adjust all these different settings for duration and swing. Let us change the rate to 8th note. That's a quarter note. So you hear it getting louder there. And then you can adjust the steps. You can have anywhere from 2 steps all the way up to 32 steps. And you can say it'll play it as played. It'll play up and down if you're holding down multiple notes, or up and down, down and up, zigzag, up and down, move. You have all those options for your arpeggiator sequencer that is built into the app. That is the basis of the plugin itself. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to mute the microphone and play through a lot of the sounds from the plugin itself. We have a lot to go through. I'm going to play some samples from, not from all the kits, but just from a sample select few of the kits. Here we go. All right, so that was just randomly playing through some of the sound sets. I didn't play them all. I believe, if I remember correctly, we have of the bass sounds, you have 17 of the bass sounds, 17 of the mash bass sounds. I think we have 10 lead sounds and 10 of the mash leads. So you have a lot of sounds to get through. I only played a handful of those, and of course, a couple of samples of each. But again, you have 120 instruments to choose from. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to a demo that I created only using sounds from the Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2 Cyberpunk instrument. Here we go. So there you have it. We're going to go over each of these sounds that I have used, starting from top to bottom. So it won't necessarily be from start to end, but top to bottom. We're going to start with the hits. So I have the factory hit here that comes at the end, factory hit 1. I have this layered with some of the other hits. Actually, I will start with the hits at the beginning. So we'll start with the rect hit. So the rect hit comes in at the beginning, layered with the factory hit 4. So this is the rect hit here. So I have the rect hit 6 layered with factory hit 4. This is the factory hit 4. And then every other time at the beginning, at least, and then at the end, it comes in every time, we have the hits element 251 coming in, and this is what the element sounds like. So it's almost like a breathy, airy type whoosh sound. And this is all 3 together. And that's sort of that foundation. And then when you have the factory hit 1 at the end here, just to add a little bit more energy on that last ending third act. So sort of like a noisy, almost like a noisy high-pitched Brahm. And this is all of those together. Just creates a nice sort of eerie type vibe. I was trying to go for a horror thriller type sound. It ended up sounding a little bit more industrial, but such is life. Next, we have breaths. So I have these breaths coming in. Nothing too crazy there. And then as we get more into the track, I do have some stereo width being automated using a stock width plugin in Logic here to add some width as the track goes towards the end. So by the time it gets to about right here, we're at 100% as wide as I make it in the track. And then we have the breaths coming in more frequently at the end here. So that adds some organic energy to it. And next we have some of the drums and stuff. So we're going to go with these taikos here. I believe these are not all taikos, even though they're labeled taikos. Some of them are different drum sounds. But we're going to start with this first layer here. Pretty much just playing that type of rhythm. And then we have some more energy building. And then more energy building as we get more into the track. And then, of course, towards the end. And then we have other layers coming in as we go into the track. So this is some more percussive layers. And even more layers as we get further into it. And I layered that with a kick. So this is those two sounds together. Next we have high percussion. This is more like some stick type sounds. Then I have some metals coming in, starting about halfway through. And then towards the end, we have the metals just going crazy. Then I have some cymbals. So we have some cymbals from, there is no instrument labeled cymbals. I believe this is from the vintage drum instrument. So it's like a reverse cymbal into a crash. And then sometimes I use the reverse cymbal as just an effect. And then I have that layered with another crash cymbal just from the WAV files that I could find in there. So this is the cymbals together. And then we have a downer, actually a dive bomb. It's called a dive bomb in there, but it's basically a downer. That only comes in at the beginning and towards the end there. So pretty much with a downer, I might turn it up a little bit in the mix. Towards the end, I sort of lost that downer and I really liked what it was doing. Then we have some risers. So this riser comes in towards the end. We'll start with the first 3 sets of risers that I have layered together pretty much throughout the whole track. So this is riser 1. We have riser 2. I do have some reverb also on top of that. We have riser element 02 here. And then riser 14 down here. And then towards the end, we have riser 17 joining the fun. And then the way I have this, I just have them during some of those transition parts. And also at the end here, I have these risers sort of chopped up to play a little bit of like a rhythm to add a little bit more tension. So it's doing something like this. It's almost like a suckback type thing, but built out of risers. Next, we have transitions. So I have this transition element that comes in sort of halfway through towards the end also, playing this. So it's almost like a growl type sound. And that pretty much is that noise. And then we have a bass sound. This is the squashed bass, or what is it called? Mashed bass. And I have that doing a panning type effect. And then sort of right here, I have it holding down. And then over here, I'm playing, I believe, different octaves to add the energy. And then as we get towards the end, I'll just play the last part here. So just playing around with the different octaves, playing that one note. The track is actually in C. I guess you could call it C minor. I don't know if I ever play a third, so I don't know if it's minor or major, but it's in C. Then we have the guitar thing. You remember the guitar from the, I think that's the electric guitar, not the processed version, playing this towards the end. So I'm only playing about half of that riff until we get to this part where I'll play more of the whole thing. And that alternates with the bass. And then at the end, they combine together. And that's sort of the outro. And then finally at the end, we have the lead joining the fun. And this is one of the lead sounds. I didn't get the number, but it's one of the lead sounds, and I pitched it down so that I'm using the lower octave, so it's actually functioning like a bass. And layering that with the other two. So it's very much using a lot of these organic sounds or even filtered or distorted sounds as sound effects and sound design. Next we have Siren 3. This is throughout the whole track. You hear it at the beginning here. Almost like a signature sound of the track. I don't even have any reverb or effects on it. And I just used the WAV file from the audio files of the over 9,500 audio files that we get in there. And that just plays throughout the track. Of course, as you see at the end here, it happens more frequently. Just to add some tension. And then last but not least, we have this bass drone, which is functioning like a low pad, low in tone and also sort of low in energy, but this is the bass drone 4. And as you can hear, I have that going through like a super long delay or reverb delay there. But that is the overview of the track. I'm just going to play the last part here from this Barbie bar 53-ish through to the end, so you can hear it all sort of in its glory one more time. So that is the demo that I created only using Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2 Cyberpunk. This is a great instrument. Again, if you checked out our review of Volume 1, you should be familiar with the UI. And if you have Volume 1, you should definitely be familiar with the UI. This is a great plugin for us music creators, a great addition to the Soundstorm series. Shout out to Auddict for sending this to us. To review for you, and shout out to you for watching this video. My review of the plugin, again, this is incredible. It's definitely worth the half off price of $140 if you can get it at the discount. So definitely check that out. And you're getting over 20 gigabytes. I believe it's 23 gigabytes of sounds. You're getting over 9,500 samples, over 100 instrument sounds that you can tweak and manipulate using the UI built in. And as you can hear, you can make a usable trailer track or epic cinematic track or industrial track or type of grunge or cyberpunk type track with these sounds right out the box without even having to add any other sounds. As long as you manipulate them and adjust them and use them to your liking, you can do all that with the sounds that are built in the WAV files that you get. So I highly recommend checking out the Auddict Soundstorm Volume 2 Cyberpunk. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more great videos like this, and we will see you in the next video. This is Marcus Fingaz. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right? Peace.